So recently I did a video with Cloud Planet's Champion starter deck from the Final Fantasy starter deck um, combo box. Today I was gonna do the Sephiroth Planet Heir, which this one's a blue-black deck. The Planet Champion one was a red-white deck. Um, so, although these aren't commander decks, they're regular decks that, have multiple copies of some cards. The decks do come with some legendary creatures in it, so you could theoretically make it into a commander's deck by just removing um, duplicate cards and adding some more cards. I don't remember the exact card count, but I'm guessing these are 60 card decks. So Cerberus Planet Heirs. It's a 4/4 legendary creature, a human avatar soldier. Has vigilance. When Sephiroth enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, put a 1/1 counter on Cerberus. So, I mean, this is pretty cool ability just because you're potentially killing some of your opponent's creatures when this enters the battlefield just to buff this guy up. Next, we have Sahagin. It's a 1/3 creature, a merfolk warrior for 1 and an island. Whenever you cast a non creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a 1/1 counter on this creature and it can't be blocked. So this guy kind of benefits from you playing slightly bigger mana cost creatures. Actually, I think I forgot to mention the first card kind of mana cost of 4 an island in a swamp. Uh, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to be II or if it's supposed to be 11, but I'm guessing II Meg Pixie. It's a 2/1 creature, a fairy, which I guess makes sense if Pixie's in the name. Pixie fairies, same idea. It's 1 in an island, has flying. Whenever this creature attacks, survey 1, and the reminder text, look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Um, where it says may, if you don't, you're putting it back on top of your library. Um, but the surveil ability really just kind of like is similar to Scry, where you're just looking at the top card and deciding if you want that as your next draw or not. And we actually have 3 copies of the II Meg Pixie. So, like I said, not a commander deck, but easily could be turned into one by just removing some the extra copies and adding some extra cards. Next, we have Retrieve the Esper. It's a sorcery for 3 in an island. Create a 3/3 blue robot warrior artifact creature token. Then, if this spell was cast from a graveyard, put 2/1/1 counters on that token. It has a flashback cost of 5 in an island. And the reminder text says, you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. So that's kind of where the casting from your graveyard comes into play, which, yes, it's two more from your graveyard than it is from your hand, but you're also putting two 1/1 counters on the token that's being cast from your graveyard. So, that's decent. And there's two copies of that. Dreams of Laguna. I don't know why, but originally I thought I read Dreams of Lasagna and I was thinking of Garfield. Must be a little bit hungry. Um, but it's a instant for one in the island. Surveil one, then draw a card. So I guess it's similar to Opt, it just costs one more and it's Surveil instead of Scry. The reminder text, Surveil one, or to Surveil one, look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. And then it also has a flashback cost of 3 in the island. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. There's two copies of this. So not only do you get to cast it from your hand and then cast it from your graveyard, but you get two copies of that. So really you're getting to surveil, then draw a card potentially 4 times, depending on how you draw cards. Um, Realms Sketching. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 islands. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact, creature, or land. I mean, 4, 2 of which happen to be mana symbols. Seems like a lot to maybe copy a land, but depending on the artifact or creature, you're potentially getting something pretty powerful for less than the mana cost of whatever you're copying. Um, Fortunately for your opponent, but unfortunately for you, there's only one copy in this deck. Ultimus Temporal Threat. It's a legendary creature, a human warlock. It's a 4/4 for 4 and 2 islands. When Ultimus Mika enters, tap all creatures your opponents control. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So I mean that's pretty powerful. Entering the battlefield, trigger of tapping all your opponent's creatures. You swing, and you automatically get to draw cards for dealing combat damage to your opponent. I mean, you're then getting card advantage on top of, lowering your opponent's life. Like the last card, um, fortunate for your opponent, unfortunate for you, I guess. Only one copy of this, given it's 6 mana, so uh, costs a little bit more. Maybe you don't get out as soon as you'd like. Um, but that's also going to be something your opponent's going to be targeting with a counterspell or some removal because of how powerful that is. Definitely worth its value as far as mana cost. Undercity Dire Rat. It's a 2/2 creature, a rat. Uh, has rat tail. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. the reminder text, it's an artifact with tap, sacrifice this token, add 1 mana of any color. So, I mean, you're getting a 2/2 body that when it dies, you get a um, token that allows you to sacrifice it for, mana. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not horrible either. It's right around what I'd expect for, um, you know, mana cost to value, I guess. There's 4 copies of this guy. Shinra reinforcements. It's a 2/3 creature, a human soldier for 2 in a swamp. Whenever this creature enters, mill 3 cards and you gain 3 life. The reminder text says to mill 3 cards, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. And there's 3 copies of this. Where you're milling yourself instead of your opponent. Hopefully, there ends up being something to allow you to um, bring stuff back from your graveyard, or at the very least, um, maybe get some benefits from stuff going to your graveyard. Sephora's intervention. It's an instant for 3 in a swamp. Destroy target creature. You gain 2 life. A lot of removal starts at 1 or 2 mana. I can't think of an example of a 1 mana cost one off the top of my head, but I feel like they'd have a drawback. Where there are 2 and 3 mana removal spells, 4 seems like a lot, even if it is at instant speed, so you could play it on your opponent's turn, and that gain of 2 life almost doesn't seem worth the extra mana. I think murder costs 1 and 2 swamps, and it just is destroy target creature, so like 1 extra mana to gain 2 life doesn't 100% seem worth the value, but in certain cases it might be beneficial to gain life. 3 copies of that. Shambling CS. It's a 3/3 creature, immune horror for 2 in a swamp. This creature enters tapped. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay a swamp. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. And there's 3 copies of this. I mean, I guess if this goes to the graveyard, being able to pay 1 to get back from the graveyard to your hands, nice if you have that mana to do that. I mean, entering tap's kind of a drawback because then you can't use it as a blocker on your opponent's turn, but it also doesn't have haste, so it's not like could go either way. All bed salvagers. The 2/3 creature, a human artificer warrior for 2 in a swamp. Whenever this creature or another creature or an artifact you control dies, target creature or target opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. So that's pretty good. There's a bunch of different creatures that do that, minus the artifact part, but you know, like it'll be creatures that, when creatures die, your creatures die, your opponent loses life and you gain life. That's pretty cool. So you could theoretically make a deck around that if you wanted. Um, so there's 3 copies of this, which would potentially be pretty good. Three um, opponent losing 3 life, you gaining 3 life for every creature dying. If you happen to get all 3 on the battlefield at the same time, given I feel like you start getting targeted quick to exile those or just get them off the board so your opponent's not losing life to have you gain life. Next we have Overkill. It's an instant for 2 in a swamp. Target creature gets -0, -999 until end of turn. There's 2 copies of this. And this almost seems like it's like an answer or response to the cactus creature that gets um, extra power for attacking or whatever. Um, Evil Reawakened. It's a sorcery for 4 in a swamp. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. So earlier I was talking about like not 100% liking the card that milled and hoping you'd have something to return stuff. In this case, it's to the battlefield. You know, um, yes, it's only one card, but you take what you get. There's 2 copies of this. Seymour Flux. It's a 5/5 legendary creature, a spirit avatar for 4 and a swamp. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card and put a 1/1 counter on Seymour Flux. So, I mean, life's a resource, so, 1 life isn't a ton to get card advantage by drawing a card in addition to buffing this guy. Only 1 copy of it. Next we have Deadly Embrace. It's a sorcery for 3 and 2 swamps. Destroy target creature an opponent controls. Then draw a card for each creature that died this turn. So, I mean, 5 might be a lot for a kill spell, but you're also getting, you're drawing cards. So, if that was the only creature that died, you might only get 1 card off the card draw. But if, say, you did combat, killed 5 of your opponent's creatures, then play this after the combat phase to kill a 6 creature, then you're drawing 6 cards to replenish your hand. So very situational, could be good, could want to wait. Zandi, Dark Mage. It's a legendary creature, a 3/3 legendary creature, a human wizard for 2, an island in a swamp. It has Menace. The reminder text says this creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Zandy gets +1/+1 for each non-creature non-land card in your graveyard. So this kind of gets buffed depending on how much stuff's in your graveyard. So I mean, this card kind of rewards you for those mill cards. I I don't 100% like, milling yourself, but I guess I could see how this would be like would reward that. Only one copy of that. Magitek Scythe, the artifact equipment that costs 4. A test of your reflexes. When this equipment enters, you may attach it to target creature you control. If you do, that creature gains first strike until end of turn, and must be blocked this turn if able. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, and then it has a equip cost of 2. There's a single copy of this card. Um, Dark City. So now we're getting to some of the land. It's a land town. Um, I'm not 100% sure what the whole town thing is. Like, if there's cards that have a benefit to running towns, because I remember there was um, sets that ran gates, and then sets that ran deserts. I vaguely remember the one was deserts had some cards that would be cheaper depending on how many deserts you had, um, or cards that would search for deserts versus searching for a basic land. So kind of niche things. I just offhand don't know what cards in this set would care if you have a town or not. But um, it enters tapped, and you can tap for either an island or a swamp. And of course, where it's not commander, you have 4 copies of this land, which is good. If you need one color but you have all of the other, oh, you draw that, do land here, let me play that so I can get the color I needed. And then we get to the basic lands. Um, there's 3 different art um, pictures for art, and they're actually um, like full art and not just like part of it and then like the mana symbol down below. I mean, it's um, still has the mana and the land type, but I feel like the non full art kind of split the lands in half. So there's 9 basic islands. And there's 12 basic swamps. And not as many tokens as the other deck. There's a treasure token, there's a robot warrior token, and then on the back of each of those, there's a copy token. So hopefully you found some value in this, and watch some other videos soon, some more commander decks, instead of where I've already gone through all of the um, non commander decks that I have at the moment. Thanks and have a good day.